here are 10 new cars you must own in GTA Online. In terms of what a new car will be, I will be limiting the selection all the way back to the Agents of Sabotage DLC. This was the update with the Garment Factory. So we do have a pretty wide selection of cars leading up from this update to the Safehouse in the Hills update. So if you are looking for a new car, hopefully one of these options is really nice. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here, and let's dive into the first pick. So to begin with, we do have the Tampa GT, a relatively newer car compared to some of the other ones, which were closer to the Agents of Sabotage DLC. There are some pretty nice reasons to get the Tampa GT. The first reason is because of its HSW upgrades. So if you do have access to that, throw them on the Tampa GT. It will make it the third fastest HSW vehicle. However, there is some really bad downsides, and it comes in terms of control. As you'll see in this gameplay, the Tampa GT is very hard to control, especially with the HSW upgrades applied. But yeah, I still think it is really fun to drive this thing around, hit some ridiculous top speeds when driving through the city, and just have fun in general. You will be able to find it on the Southern San Andreas Super Autos website for a pretty respectable price. After this, we have a new car with the newest DLC. This is called the Weaver. Extremely expensive, as you will see, at nearly $2.7 million. I still think this is a really nice car, however, with it not having access to the HSW upgrades, it is still extremely fast. I don't know about you guys as well, but I think the Weaver just looks really nice. I love the pro-gen vehicles in GTA Online. Rockstar seem to kill it every single time. If you guys have that kind of cash just lying around and want to experience a different car, I still think the Weaver is a great choice. I think one thing that I like the most about this one just has to be its traction. It just feels so smooth to drive this. This next car is a little bit different. At the time of this video going up, it is not currently out in GTA Online and is only currently available for GTA Plus members. This will be the Estrella. The Estrella will have access to the HSW upgrades. Luckily enough, I managed to pick one up before my GTA Plus membership expired, and yeah, I genuinely think this is one of the best cars in the game. When it eventually does come out, it has a really nice and respectable top speed, whether you have the HSW upgrades applied or not, but where it really excels is its traction. I can't really compare it to any other car that we have in GTA Online. It just feels so different, at least in my opinion. You guys might have a different car that it seems similar to, but yeah, I just love driving this one around. Hopefully this will release in the next week or so, because another note about GTA Plus members and getting this car, supposedly it is meant to come out a month after it came out for GTA Plus, and we are getting really close to this date, so potentially releasing this week or next week. When it does officially release, this is something that you probably want to try and get. Another one of the new cars from the new DLC is of course the FMJ Mark V. For me personally, I think this is the best car that we have got, at least right now in GTA Online. It has some of the best traction I have experienced, and even with the HSW upgrades, it does not seem to affect the car as much as it does to other HSW vehicles. I think the only other car that I can compare this to is the Ubermac Niobe. It is really similar, but like I said, in my opinion, I think it is just a little bit better. The Niobe is technically faster, but honestly not by much. And just remember, when you are driving through the city, you tend to go a lot faster anyway. If there is one car that I would absolutely recommend in this video, it is the FMJ Mark V. After this, we are switching things up. I decided to go for the LSCM Cheetah Classic. Like a lot of these vehicles already in this list, the Cheetah Classic has some really nice traction to it. It feels extremely smooth to drive this around, but where I think it really excels is in the fact it comes built in with a missile lock-on jammer, and at just under $2 million, it doesn't seem too bad, but a huge letdown with this type of car is the fact it will have very limited customization options. So really different from a lot of the other cars. I still think it is really fun to have this, and yeah, for that performance and not even having to have the agency with the workshop to put on the missile lock-on jammer, the price might be still worthwhile. It really comes down to what you guys have or want in GTA Online. I personally love how the Cheetah Classic looks. The next car is another one of my personal favorites from some of the recent DLCs. It will be the Sentinel GTS. It can have access to the missile lock-on jammer, and for the price of this car alone, I do think this is one of the best choices you can make at just a little over $1.6 million. Another thing that you can do to get a really nice feel of the Sentinel GTS before purchasing is to play some of the Quickie Farm delivery missions. That will allow you to drive a Sentinel GTS and really just experience it. And hopefully after you guys have used that in the Quickie Farm deliveries, you will just see how good this is. I'm sure many of you guys have already tried the Sentinel GTS, fully upgraded it, and know how good this is. Next up, we have the Rapid GTX. I definitely think this car flew under the radar when it first released. For a standard car in GTA Online, this is very good. It has a really nice and respectable top speed. It feels incredible to drive. The only thing letting this one down is the price, at almost $3 million. But for the price, you are really just paying for the top speed and how well it handles. I also think the Rapid GTX looks nice, but then again, these things come down to your personal preference. If you want to save some money, I would probably avoid the Rapid GTX and go for a more sensible option. But if you guys like collecting new cars, this will definitely make your garages look a lot better. And it's always nice to pull out if you are getting bored of some of your other vehicles. Very similar to the LSCM Cheetah Classic, we now have the LSCM Jester RR. I definitely think that this choice really comes down to your preference in which one you prefer. And that is of course if you guys actually want to buy one of these two. Just remember, the LSCM variants will have the limited customization. However, of course, they will come included with a built-in missile lock-on jammer. For me personally, I prefer the Jester RR. I used to love the standard version, and the LSCM variant is a little bit slower. However, the handling and just how the vehicle looks itself really make this a solid pick. In my opinion, I think it is worthwhile. However, it will cost $2.2, nearly $2.3 million, so very expensive, and if you factor in that limited customization, it might not even be worth your cash. For the second to last vehicle I also want to cover, it will obviously be the Banshee GTS. The standard Banshee GTS is one of the fastest normal cars across GTA Online right now. I believe it does have a ridiculous top speed of 138 miles per hour. Obviously, this will change depending where you drive, and it potentially can hit a lot faster speeds. It will also have access to the HSW upgrades, and is currently the fastest HSW car. Obviously, the same things apply. It really depends where you drive this. If you drive it through the city, you might even be able to reach speeds of 180 miles per hour, which is genuinely insane. The traction is not too bad either. It is definitely controllable compared to other HSW cars or any cars in general. And yeah, if you guys like getting around the map fast without using special vehicles like the Oppressor Mark II and just prefer driving, the Banshee GTS is a phenomenal choice. And last but not least, our final car is the Coquette D5. This will be another car without the HSW upgrades. However, as a standard vehicle, this is one of the most comfortable things that you can drive around the city. It rarely ever skids out, and for quite some time it did have a bug where it was completely bulletproof when you were in the vehicle. You could shoot out the windows, but no bullets would get through. However, I do think this bug has been patched only just recently by Rockstar, but even with this patch, the D5 is still extremely nice, also costing a respectable $1.7 million, which isn't too bad, especially in terms of some of the other cars we have already discussed, like the Rapid GTX. So yeah, that will be 10 of the newer cars in GTA Online that you definitely want to try and get. Even just getting one or two of the best ones will give you a much more enjoyable experience. If I was going to choose the best two vehicles, I would probably say that the FMJ Mark V and probably the Banshee GTS are my go-to choices, and closely followed by the new Astrale, which will of course be releasing very shortly. If you guys have any of these cars, make sure to leave a comment and let me know what you think. Also make sure to leave a comment if you think I should have included some other ones. And yeah, as always, if you guys went on to enjoy this video or found it useful in any way, shape or form, leave a like on this video. I always do appreciate your support, and if you are new to the channel and like what you see, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.